Wow, check this out. On this site in 1923, opened the Bienville Parish Training School, founded by Bird Theron Crawford to prepare teachers of African American children in the parish. Crawford served as the school's first principal. Under Principal A.R. Rollins, the school was renamed Arcadia Colored High School in 1950 and Crawford High School in 1959. In the early 1970s, the school was renamed Crawford Junior High School. Dr. James H. Crawley served as principal from 1970 until the school closed in 1976. For over 3/4 of a century, hundreds of individuals educated at the Crawford schools have made significant contributions to social, economic, and political life in Bienville Parish, the state of Louisiana, and across the nation. A gift of the Crawford Schools Alumni Association and the Bienville Parish School Board, this marker was dedicated June 30th, 2001, right here on this historic site of Bienville Parish Training School. Let's go. Good morning, everyone. This is P9 with another video, and I am here in the town of Arcadia, Louisiana. Arcadia is the seat of Bienville Parish. So we're about to take a walk through Arcadia and get some historic sites and all that good stuff. So let's go. So Arcadia was incorporated as a small village in 1855, right here in Bienville Parish. And right over here is the Bienville Parish School Board building. And right over here is the Arcadia Masonic Lodge building. So many of these buildings in downtown Arcadia was built at the turn of the 20th century, and they're occupied by many businesses, including this one right here, this barber shop called the Classic Cut. And we also have this antique shop right here, which looks like it's, I mean, with the way things are scattered around that building, it looks like it's more than likely abandoned. We have New Revelation Church right here. New Revelation Church. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. John 14:6. So shout out to New Revelation Church. And we have this abandoned building right over here. So of course you're going to have quite a few of those. Right across the street is looks like a oil change spot, the Pennzoil Quick Lube and Detail. So that's good they have an oil change spot downtown. So as far as the local economy, the poultry industry plays a major role, and there's a local feed that was operated. It's a local feed mill operated by Pilgrim's Pride. which is headquartered in Greeley, Colorado. Pilgrim's Pride faced bankruptcy in 2009 and announced that most of its Louisiana operations would close, including plants located in Arcadia, Athens, Choudron, and Farmerville. Fortunately for the employees, Foster Farms of California put their operations up for sale, and Foster put up $40 million towards the purchase price of Foster Farms. So they put up $40 million of their own money, and the other $40 million came from the state of Louisiana to salvage the operations for the Pilgrim's Pride right here in Louisiana. So fortunately for all the employees, they did not lose their jobs due to potential bankruptcy. Because that's a huge part of the local economy, is the poultry industry right here in northern Louisiana. We have another old building over here, early 20th century building, which is now one part of the building is occupied by an insurance agency, and they also have a flea market over here. And this other side of the building has been boarded up and abandoned. Now this building right here, or this side of the building, it's called the Junction. Now this particular building, or the side of the building called the Junction, was once a restaurant, and it was gutted by a fire that took place in 2013. At the time of the fire, the restaurant was called Someplace Else Cafe, and what had happened was a fire had engulfed, and it was because the owner, Loretta Womack, was cooking some sausage and accidentally dropped a pan, and the grease fire had ensued and spread real quickly, and it wound up burning this building down, or burning the restaurant down. Now fortunately for all the other businesses around, the fire didn't spread more. You know, it's been spread out even more, because those fires, when they spread like that, they can cause an immense amount of damage. So thankfully, fortunately for the other businesses around, that fire didn't destroy their businesses, and it's happened like in the wee hours of the morning, so it wasn't anybody around to suffer any injuries or anything like that. But yeah, this is a gutted out former restaurant called the Junction, or at the time of the fire, Someplace Else Cafe. But if you keep going down this way, it looks like some more businesses. Let's see what they have over here. We have a business called Teriyaki right over here. quite sure what this is. It looks like an antique shop, or maybe like a little shop that sells might not be an antique shop necessarily, but it's like a shop that sells, looks like some home wear type stuff, like some home decor. This is called Zoom. Now all this is on, by the way, on one side of Railroad Avenue, and it sits across this post office. So there goes the city post office right here in Arcadia. And they also have the what used to be the new Arcadia Health Mart Pharmacy. This particular portion of the building is for sale by Green Star Realty. Trisha Roberson, I guess it's the realty agent, realtor. So if you guys interested, says something new coming to Arcadia September 2025. Interesting. This also looks like it hosts the Bienville Democrat Ringgold record. So I'm guessing that's like a publication right here in Arcadia. So a few shops opened up over here in that building. They have a rent-to-own spot right here called the Renter's Choice. And they have this building that's been sitting here with a bunch of junk. Looks like a bunch of junk just piled up in here. You got cobwebs and spider webs and old chairs. They even have the old Coke deep freezer right here. Wow. Crazy. Like some farm equipment there. Once again, more abandoned buildings. Abandoned what used to be storefronts. Just gutted and abandoned and all that stuff. Very interesting. But I'm about to go check out the other side of Railroad Avenue. I believe this is the actual building where the Bienville Democrat publication took place. It's right here on Railroad Avenue. And what you have over here, let's get a little bit closer, is the First National Bank building. And I believe it's still, looks like it's still a functioning operation going on. I believe this bank is still open. It's a full service banking facility. Homer Woodard first room. They have this spot called, looks like the Luigi Steaks, Luigi's Restaurants. Calico Corner. We are a store with a pet. Check this out. They even have this little park right here. It's called the Henderson Jordan Memorial Park, and it was named after this fellow right here, Henderson Jordan, who served as the sheriff of Bienville Parish for 2 terms. Prior to his tenure as sheriff, he served as private first class in the 83rd Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War I. He married Annie Lesba Glower, and they have 2 children, Gloria and Larry. As a sheriff of Bienville Parish, Jordan was one of 6 law enforcement officers who participated in the ambush of notorious outlaws Clyde Barrow and Bonnie Parker on May 23, 1934, on Louisiana Highway 154 between Gibbsland and Sales. Other officers involved were Bienville Parish Deputy Prentice M. Oakley, Texas Rangers Frank Hamer and BM Manny Galt, and Dallas County, Texas Deputies Robert Alcorn and Ted Hinton. Bonnie and Clyde were responsible for 13 murders, including 9 law officers, and numerous armed robberies during their 4-year crime spree. So shout out to Henderson Jordan. And yes, if you're dealing with some notorious outlaws like Bonnie and Clyde, you need definitely a collaborative effort from multiple law enforcement agencies to take them down. So shout out to everybody involved in that notorious shootout. But yeah, this is Henderson Jordan's park. They have a fountain right here, as you can see. They have some tables and some benches with looks like a lot of shade. You can come out here and sit down and enjoy some lunch or whatever the case may be. Read a book. And check this out. Now I'm also going to go visit the town of Gibbsland, where they have the Bonnie and Clyde Museum. But they have these newspaper postings right here. I like how they enclose them in this display right here. They have multiple newspaper articles about the Bonnie and Clyde situation that happened. So of course you already know, not only was it national news, obviously it was national news, but right here in this small town, this happened not too far from this small town in this parish. It was a lot of people who, basically were just they from my understanding, they embalmed, they had their ashes, or they had their bodies embalmed, in one of the funeral homes nearby. And it was a huge event because a lot of the locals came and went to go check that out. But yeah, it's Bonnie and Clyde. They lived by the gun, died by the gun. And this is really cool. The Bienville Democrat, Ruston Daily Leader. Wow. So it has images of the car with the bullet holes in the windshield. Interesting. Very interesting. Like how they preserve the history. This looks pretty cool right here. Especially considering there's a lot of shade over here as well. Looks like a porch, or perhaps maybe you can perhaps maybe have performances, a little performance or something right here. And people can gather in this little park and watch. That's what it looks like anyway. Looks like that's what that is right there. A little stage or something. But I'm about to make my way over across the street to this railroad depot. You guys know that's one of my favorite places to visit. There's a railroad depot. So let's go check it out. Let's go check it out. So this is the Arcadia Railroad Depot, which was built in 1908. And this depot served as a passenger and freight station. And it now functions as the Chamber of Commerce and a depot museum. And they even have the railroad car sitting outside of it. Now, Arcadia was served as a stop on the Vicksburg, Shreveport, and Pacific Railway. Now, that railway was established in the late 1800s. And what's interesting about Arcadia's depot, it's made out of wood. It's a wooden depot. It's one of, if not the only, wooden depot that's located on the Vicksburg, Shreveport, and Pacific Railroad between Marshall, Texas, and Monroe, Louisiana. So very interesting history there. And right over there, across the railroad tracks, we are about to walk across the railroad track and down this hill. Let me go the other way, because that hill's pretty rough. So let me go around something that has a little bit of a flatter surface, and I'll just walk down there. All right, here we go. There we go. Yeah, this is Railroad Avenue and Myrtle Street. And they have the mural over there for the town of Arcadia. Really nice. And they have the North Bienville Parish Fire District building, station number 4. And over there is the Arcadia Town Hall, where the police department is located. Arcadia Police Department. So it's located right over here by the Arcadia Railroad Depot. This is the site of the former Bienville Parish Courthouse. It was built in 1953. But has since moved its operations to a newly constructed courthouse in 2013, which is where we're going to take this next segment of the vlog. And this, my friends, is the modern day Bienville Parish Courthouse. So it is a modernized building right here in Arcadia, the parish seat. And this courthouse opened in 2013, and it relocated here, and it was built in 2013 after vacating the original courthouse near downtown Arcadia, which opened in 1953. So really nice, nicely designed courthouse. It even has these columns that sit outside in the front, so that's cool. And if you go over here, they have a little garden. goes the entrance over there. But they had a garden right here. Really nice. They even have some benches out here. Of course, they have the American flag on the left, the Louisiana state flag on the right, and they have this Veterans Memorial honoring the gallant men and women who served their country with honor during peace and war. And this was sponsored by the citizens of Bienville Parish. And there goes a list of the veterans, their ranks and their names, who served in the and also the branch that they served in and the conflict that they served in. So many of them. It's way too many to name. But shout out to each and every one of these individuals. Salute to them. And I like how they made it a priority to honor these veterans who served in these, again, gave up their lives and served in these conflicts. Really nicely designed courthouse. Again, opened in 2013, right here in Bienville Parish. Which leads me to the end of this Arcadia, Louisiana vlog. I'd like to thank each and every one of you guys for watching this vlog. If you made it this far, make sure you tap that like button. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button along with the notification bell. And once you hit that notification bell, make sure you select all. That way you get every notification every time I go live or I post a new vlog. So thanks again, you guys, and see you on the next one. Peace.